You are looking live at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which was up 245 points today, or 1.59%, and close at 15,000. Well, we'll round it up to 697. How about that? The volume was a little higher than yesterday, still below, the average 50-day average volume, 5% below, but what I want to focus on, oh, by the way, and it's also still trading 2.2% below its 50 simple moving average. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, if you will indulge me. So on Friday, first of all, we had this high here on the 21st. We had that big run, 32%, and then it pulled back 6% or so, no, 9%, excuse me. But then I just want to point out on Friday, this is options expiration Friday. So we take a look down here at the volume, pretty heavy volume here on this selling. This one day was the 15th, heavy volume. That was also an expiration day. This is the April expiration day. And we get this heavy volume selling, is this cascading, like we don't want any stocks anymore. And then what happens? It closes near the low. And then on Monday, we come in and have an inside day. All right. And so what I'm looking for is to see if the index can make a low before that, below the low of 15,222, which was the low on Friday. And so far it has not. Yesterday, the low was 15,265, and today not even close, 15,510. So that's what I'm looking for. Today is day 2 of an attempted rally. We have to wait till day 4 because we want to make sure that it's just, not short covering. And we want some, confirmation of institutions supporting the market. And so that's why we wait for day 4 of an attempted rally. The S&P looks pretty similar to the Nasdaq. It's a little closer to its 50, though. It's 1% below the 50, but same principle, cascading, selling, made a low on Friday, then rebounded and higher lows. So that's what you look for, higher lows, and then, rally through the 50. But we're just going to take things one day at a time. And so, you got to be open-minded and flexible. This could be a V-shaped rally here that, you know, we know the geopolitical situation. We know all the macro stuff. Maybe they just, got tired of owning stocks, sold them off, and now earnings are coming in. Now they want to buy them back. This is the Russell 2000, which is pretty much dominated by super micro and micro strategy. But anyway, it's on day 3 of an attempted rally. So tomorrow we could see a follow-through day on the Russell 2000. We need a move of 1% or higher on increasing volume, which I will go to the IWM. So there's a look at the Russell ETF. And the last one I want to show is the Dow Jones Industrial Average today. Tuesday I was hoping for a follow-through day here, didn't quite get it. This is day 4 of an attempted rally. You can see it made the low on the 17th, which was Wednesday, and was actually up Thursday and Friday. And now Monday came in, moved like gangbusters, and today followed through with a nice move, but not a follow-through day. You can see it was only up 0.69%. Volume lower than the prior session. So could be tomorrow on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And it doesn't matter what index, we just want one index to confirm the institutions are supporting this market. And you take a look at the Dow Jones. I was looking through their stocks, and there's not a lot of stocks I want to own in the Dow Jones. Amazon is one, and American Express is another that looks pretty good here. Caterpillar looks good. Yeah, nice pullback there, and now moving higher. Goldman Sachs, yeah, they don't want to own it, but I'm just acknowledging the strength here in some of the Dow Jones stocks. Procter and Gamble looking pretty strong, and then Merck, not bad. Merck's not bad. We know that some of them are just complete dogs, like Nike, trying to get out of the doghouse here, but below all moving averages and just has been murdered. McDonald's, same as Nike, kind of had a real bad downturn and now trying to bring it back. Apple, Apple's had a downturn, and this is a big part of the Dow as well. And trying to just turn it around here. Microsoft reports earnings this week, another big part of the Dow. It's a price weighted index, and last couple of days, it made the low on Monday, and today a higher low. So just things that I'm watching here. With the markets, I don't want to have FOMO. I don't want to jump in, go 100% margin and all that. We want to make sure we have confirmation before we go too crazy. Buy a couple stocks here and there, get some feedback. If you had some stocks from the ready list today, you probably did pretty well. And that's the feedback I got. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But there's a saying, I'm going to take you down the negative road and bring you back on the positive path. Because there's a saying, in the media journalism, that if it bleeds, it leads. And we saw some bleeding today in the commodities. I came in this morning and I saw every commodity was down and crypto was up, which was a good juxtaposition for the session today. And I was looking at some of the steel producers. They had earnings and terrible response to earnings, 11% lower for Cleveland Cliffs. And to me, this is like just a rotation going back into the tech and out of these commodities, which had a good run for a while, but they're inflationary. So I really don't participate in the steel and this is Steel Dynamics. Below the 50, good for them. Southern Copper, which had been going up every day, nice copper play, just pulled back to the 21, still looks pretty good. Freeport McMoran reported earnings, below the 20. Sell off on decent sales growth earnings. It's a copper play like Southern Copper, but I'm just happy to see these guys take a break. Now, oil and gas was down, and crude oil, I know they're June contracts, but the oil was down, but these stocks are just being persistent. To me, ExxonMobil still looks pretty good here. It's got that buy point of 120.70 and it's trading above it. I would not be surprised to see that one trade higher. Same with Chevron, pretty similar chart patterns here. These were up, but this is why I show the commodities and the crypto every morning. You can see what's kind of going on with these. So I did say I would start off with the negatives, the miners, the steel. The oil and gas actually turned out to be positives. But I'm going to go to the earnings reports that worked out well this morning. Spotify, this is one of our leading stocks on our leading stock list. It's actually our leading stock. And I saw that report and I thought, I figured it would be good because, well, first of all, it's a pullback to the 50, the first pullback to the 50 after the breakout. So you know how I stand with those. Usually turns out pretty well for us. But they just raised prices. They said they're going to raise prices, down the road. So that tells me they're in a position of strength. Anyway, a stock that was up nearly 12% today on 500% above average daily volume. That's a move not to be ignored. Very nice. GE had a nice move. Very strong earnings, 34% growth. They're seeing they split off GEV and GEHC, which is both doing pretty well. GEHC. So this is more of a leaner, meaner fighting machine here with GE. This is GE Healthcare. They're going to report earnings next week. It was up 2%, but the mothership, GE Aerospace, very strong move. Made a new high with volume. 8% on a stock like that. That's not to be ignored. Fantastic move. And when I see stocks like this, Spotify and excuse me, I'm going to digress here a little bit. I look for collateral plays or pin action. And so Duolingo is in this group, computer software education, and it got a little pin action from the Spotify report. Eaton, same thing from General Electric, is up nicely. They're going to report earnings next week as well. So probably, I don't know if we're going to see something like GE, but keeping my eyes on that one. I just look for, pin action. If you don't want to buy the one that's breaking out, maybe you can buy one of its partners, their running mates. This is a MEDP, MEDP, MedPace Holdings. I saw their report. I had it in this morning's, and it wasn't up very much. This morning's newsletter, this morning's report wasn't up very much. I thought, man, with a report like that, that thing's going to fly. But I didn't buy it. 41% earnings growth. You can see the accelerating 8, 16, 41% earnings growth. Very nice run for MEDP. So like I said, didn't buy that one, but you can look at some of the other ones in the group here, and that's kind of what I do, is just see how the other ones are running as well, just to see, I like stocks that run in groups and not just lone wolves. NTRA got a little boost today, nearly 3%. So just showing you some things that I look for when I see strong earnings report. General Motors, I don't buy automotive stocks. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but GM had a strong report and up more than 4%. I'm just not an auto guy, but I would look at something like Ferrari. Ray's had a nice move. So some pen action here. They have earnings on May 7th. Okay, well, and then Pulte Homes reported a strong quarter. Nice 5% move. And then, of course, you look for some of the pen action in DHI, which was up nearly 4%. And Lennar, yeah, we'll take that. That's a nice little move after the sell-off. So they're below the 50s, but anyway, that's just what I look for with these earnings reports. They look pretty good. I've got to get to NVIDIA and some of the semis. I think they're going to be up tomorrow. And they're up after hours due to that Texas Instruments had a strong report tonight. And I will get to that in a minute as well. But NVIDIA, like I said, when you have a sell-off of $80, you want to get, half of that back, right away. And yesterday it was up $33 a day, 24. So that's a nice bounce. This one probably needs time, a little more time, but if it rallies, if it wants to have this V-shaped rally back through the moving averages, that's got to be, to me, this is the king of AI, and this is the one that I want to buy. AMD is a nice stock, good company. It's going to do well with artificial intelligence, but I just prefer NVIDIA, and it had a nice move today of 2.5%. And the other one is SMCI. This one's not getting back what it lost. It was down 214 points, got barely anything back on Monday. What was it, $3? Hello, and then 44 today. So that is really lagging, and it's nearly 20% below the 50. So SMCI, it's got work to do. Anyway, I've been looking at some other sectors, that I think are interesting. This is Datadog. I like the software names. They've sold off. This one's consolidating in a base. Broke above its 50 today. So I'm definitely interested in Datadog, looking pretty good. And then ESTC, talked about that 100 level here with this stock. It looks like it's just forming a bottom here. And today broke above the 100 level. With volume, and it's been up 4 days in a row. So I don't know. I don't want to say ESTC's bottom because, but it probably has. I don't like to make predictions. I just watch day by day, and I like it above $100. I'm not going to put it on the ready list though, because it's below the 50, but I do like the stock. I like the way it's moving, and it seems to me like it's kind of shaking out all the sellers. Same with NTNX, just consolidating in a flat base pattern. Sold off like everything else, right? And now bounced the last couple of days. Looks a lot like the index where it made that low on Friday of 58.10, a higher low on Monday of 58.46, and a higher low today of 60.18. So that one looks good as well. Higher highs and higher lows. We like to see that in our stocks. I've got to go to the retailers because I've been talking about these for a while. Lulu looks to me like it made a bottom too. Like I said, I don't like to make predictions, but just doing this for as long as I have, when they make a low here at 330 and go up, I don't know what, 6 days in a row, making higher lows and higher highs. It's just sellers just get exhausted, just like buyers get exhausted when a stock, has a climax top. So to me, it looks like all the selling's done with Lulu. And there's some buyers coming in for that one. Another stock that I really like, and I think they're taking market share, and went down with Ulta Beauty, and it just kind of, it sold off like everything else in the market. Made a new low on Friday with the options expiration, down 6% Friday, made that low of 154. Came in on Monday and made a lower low of 153.72, and today popped nicely, 15%. could be short covering there, and that's why you want to kind of wait, for confirmation, because this could still be consolidating in its base. It does have a gap to fill here at 181.21, where it would lower. I believe that was the day that Ulta warned, and then it gapped lower. So, I could definitely see it trading back up above 181.21, which is a nice still, 4.5, $4 gain there. So definitely a stock that I like and I'm watching. CPNG, this is the Amazon of Korea, I guess. Anyway, you got to acknowledge the strength here, a breakout from a cup with handle pattern, and it just had this big move on this week, and now the last couple of weeks just trading higher and showing strength, following through on that move, right? So that's what you want to see with your stocks, making the higher lows and the higher highs. I believe it made a 22.97 was an 52-week high today for CPNG. Wingstop, one that I had on the ready list, like this action here, the pull back to the 50, after the breakout. So that's one of my I don't know what you call it. It's one of my go-to moves for sure. I like buying that first pullback, up nearly 3% today. Wingstop, just showing that one because I like it. And then SE, retail internet. I had this one in the ready list. Really, 63.25 is the buy, but it kind of broke, above this downtrending line. So I put it on the ready list, but actually, 63.25, it breaks above there. We like that one as well. It's got a big, long way to go. Just trying to break out of a stage 1 base here. So anyway, that's it for the retail internet. I did the home. The drugs. I got to go to the drugs. Novo Nordisk. Looks to me like this thing's just breaking out. I mean, it sold off 6 weeks in a row, just drip, 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 gradually. I mean, it's like people didn't want to sell it. They were reluctantly selling. And then the last couple sessions here, well, first of all, you could see that it made, on Friday of that, it's like capitulation selling when you get that big, selling at the end of a large, 6 weeks of selling, and you get that big sell day above average volume. Then it comes in on Monday and pops, and today follows through 2.7%. You got to look at the weekly here. I mean, that's just like a wedge pattern here. Makes this big run and then drifts back in this light volume. That's classic action there. Big earnings heading due north. You can tell that I really like this stock. I do own it, full transparency, but I also like the pattern, and it kind of looks like it got all the sellers out of there, and now it can move higher and build the right side of the base. Anyway, Dawn, I had on my ready list this morning, and they got FDA approval for their cancer drug for infants or children. But anyway, it popped, nearly 10% today. I thought it would have a little, bigger pop than that. I don't know. They're going to have a conference call tomorrow morning to talk about, their plans, and I don't know. They're probably going to have some analyst upgrades. Makes it more of a buyout target now. So, I did buy some, and I'm just going to hold on to it and see what happens here. An 8% move with that kind of volume is not to be ignored. What else did I have? AQST is another one that I like. In the drug sector, just, made this big run, and then had a 50% retracement, and now it just pulled back to its 50 for the first time. Trying to bounce here, but they need news as well. They're going to hear from the FDA here by the 28th, which is Sunday, I believe. So probably before Sunday. Anyway, I forgot to show Eli Lilly. Okay, so Eli Lilly, I'm going to do a little thing on Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. Novo is doing better than Lilly. Lilly is here 2.2% below the 50, and Novo has managed to recapture its moving averages. So if you're trading those two or you own those two, take it for what it's worth. Lilly could blast right through the 50. They report earnings on the 30th, which is next Tuesday, and pretty sure they're going to have a pretty strong report. We'll have to wait and see, but it's been consolidating in this flat base pattern with that 800 buy point. So standard buy point. All right. I've got to go to the The crypto names, like I said, crypto was up this morning. The digital currency markets. This is one that I had on my list. I had one that I had to buy, because it's just, you see how it moves. I mean, it makes these wild moves, right? It's a bucking bronco, it makes these wild moves. You want to own it while it's doing that. You don't want to own it while it's doing this. So it pulled back to its 21, that made another rip up to 24.72, and then whoopsie, well, the entire market was selling off at this time. So it was just kind of trading with the market below the 21, and now it's rallied back through the 21. I still like it. I don't see why it wouldn't take out the 24.72. We'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, I did buy that one. And anyway, it was nice to have a couple of stocks up more than 8% today. Oh, on the ready list. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you for watching. Except for I lied. I have one more thing. When you see stocks going up on what I would consider pretty, they had an earnings revenue miss. This is Tesla. And, the report was not fantastic, but like I said, there might be capitulation selling in here, and their sellers are all washed out, and they have news, and it's going up on pretty, it was not great news, put it that way. I'm not going to say it was horrible news, but they did say they're going to have a lower priced car, so whatever. Tesla's probably through going down. I'm not going to buy it because it's got all this resistance to go through here. But if you like to take a swing and bottom fish, that looks pretty good to me. They're at after hours up nearly 8%, so that looks pretty good. Visa reported. I did not really see a lot of Visa's report, but up 3% after hours. This one, Seagate Technology was down. They missed. They had a revenue or earnings miss. Did not look that great. But Texas Instruments, this is the semiconductor, pretty big, 150 billion market cap, and they had a strong report, earnings and revenue beat, and they guided higher, which is what you want to see here when these, like Meta's going to report tomorrow, Microsoft and Google on Thursday. They have to guide higher. You can't be sandbagging here when you're priced like this. Had a nice run. I didn't show Meta today, did I? Yeah, still toggling with that 500. But tomorrow, they're going to report. You see Meta platforms with 11%, 23%, 25% sales growth, triple digit earnings growth. I imagine they're going to beat, and then well, they better guide higher. That's all I can say. Same with Microsoft, and then I didn't show Google either. These guys need to report strong numbers and guide higher. This thing's just going sideways. It didn't sell off with the index, and it's not really ramping as the Nasdaq and the markets ramp higher. It's just kind of going sideways, waiting for that new data point. So we have to hear from Google or Alphabet on the 25th. Anyway, that's it for me. A lot of stuff going on. Just stick to your style. Don't try to, catch every stock going up. A lot of them are, short covering, and they're going to reverse on you, and then you're going to be underwater and you're going to regret buying them. Just wait for confirmation. Take a swing at a few stocks. But, like I said, I wouldn't be 100% invested until we get confirmation here. Right now, I'm about 50% invested. So I'm just trying to probe the market, not trying to get ahead of myself, taking it a day at a time, waiting for confirmation, because this could be short selling. It could reverse on us. And after 2 days of going higher doesn't mean, we're going to go higher forever. But having Tesla and Texas Instruments report strong quarters, I think that bodes well for the Nasdaq tomorrow. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. I'll have a report in the morning, and thank you for watching, and we never give up.